Hi, and welcome to Contemplative Friday for the fourth week of classes. As always, I would invite you to position yourself in a comfortable sitting position, nice straight back, either on a chair or on the floor. Chin down a little bit, relax the shoulders, settle into something that's comfortable but attentive. And as always, I invite you to close your eyes if you would like. And begin by taking a long, slow, deep breath in. And a long, slow exhale out. Followed by another long, slow, deep breath in. A long, slow, deep breath out. And another long, slow, deep breath in to the count of 4 or 5. And exhale to the count of 4 or 5. And one more long breath in. And a long, slow exhale out. And now I invite you to release all control of the breath and just let it flow naturally. Your body will take over. And draw your attention to where you feel your breath. Perhaps at the base of your nostrils as the air comes in and out, or in the expansion and contraction of your belly. Focus your attention where you feel it the most. This is a time to let go of the week, a long week that saw assignments and exams and homework, and to focus solely on your breath. When you find your mind wandering, simply bring it back to your breath. And when your mind is clear, I'd like you now to imagine a nucleus. Just picture a concentrated cluster of protons and neutrons. And now we're going to begin adding electrons to that atom. in the orbitals that they would exist in. So around that nucleus, picture the 1s spherical orbital. So picture a ball, and the space within that ball would contain the nucleus. And the 1s electrons could be anywhere in that sphere. So picture them just bouncing around. We don't know how they move. We don't know how they get from one place to another. They just exist within that space, right around the nucleus. And now imagine the 2s orbitals, and the electrons within the 2s orbital, the sphere that's close to the nucleus, and now another layer around it. So like an onion. And the two spheres separated by a region of space where the electrons don't exist. So a sphere within a sphere with the nucleus at the center. And the 1s and the 2s electrons located somewhere within those spheres. And now we're going to add the 2p orbitals. So imagine first just a p orbital, the two lobes oriented perhaps up and down in space, north-south, and two electrons coexisting within that space. Some people call it a dumbbell shape, or imagine two balloons tied to each other opposite from one another. That's the PZ orbital. Now add to that picture the PX orbital, so another dumbbell shape at right angles to the one you're picturing. And two electrons in it. So those are going east-west. And we're going to add one more p orbital, an orbital coming out at you in your imagination, and part of it receding back away from you in your imagination. That's the PY orbital. And it's at 90 degrees to the other two orbitals. There'd be electrons in it. Now take those three orbitals and their 6 lobes and add them to your atom that had the 1s and the 2s orbital. Put the nucleus at the center. And these p orbitals should be slightly bigger than your 2s orbital, so they overlap a little bit, they hang out. They extend beyond the 2s orbital a little bit. This begins to get to be a complicated picture. Spherical regions, the px, the py, the pz, dumbbell-shaped orbitals, all centered on the nucleus and all with electrons in them. And the next orbital would be the 3s, encompassing the 2s orbital, another layer on the onion, with another node, a region of space where there are no electrons between the 3s and the 2s. And now add the 3p orbitals. The same thing as the 2p, but bigger, encompassing the 2p orbitals. Try to keep in mind the three-dimensionality of it all. Imagine electrons coming out toward you, electrons going away from you, electrons to the right, to the left, up and down in these spherical regions. If you had to make it out of clay, what would it look like? And now imagine the 3d orbitals. The d orbitals having 8 lobes, 4 pointing up at angles and 4 pointing down at different angles. And the odd d orbital that has the toroid, the donut, in the center, around 2 lobes going up and down. And add that to your picture of the atom. And those d orbitals being very big so the electrons are far away from the nucleus when they're in there. And just take a moment to appreciate the complexity of that picture and how marvelous it is we know what we know about it. And appreciate that being able to picture that will help us understand the behavior of the atoms. Knowing where the electrons are will help us understand the trends in the periodic table. It'll help us understand how one atom bonds to another atom. So this simple model that we've built in our mind can explain a lot. And how great that is. And when you'd like, return your attention to your breath. Focus on where you feel your breath. Take one more moment to release the cares and the worries of the day and the past week. Be at peace. Enjoy the calm. Enjoy the quiet. Perhaps let a little smile come to your mouth, corners of your mouth curl up. And we'll close by taking a long, slow, deep breath in to the count of 4 or 5. Long, slow exhale out to 4 or 5. And another long, slow, deep breath in. And a long, slow, deep breath out. And perhaps begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Move your shoulders. Release any tension that might have accumulated. Gradually open your eyes and bring your attention back to the room. Take any thoughts that occurred to you into the weekend. I hope you have a great rest of your day and a productive, restful weekend. Thank you.